Shachiputram atra surupam rupam tasya gajavuri purim maturim gustuatim radhakundamagirivaram ahoradikamarvasam rakto yasya pratita kripaya Shri Guru Tamnatosmi Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Ananda Lila Maya Vigrahaya Hey Mabhadvyaschavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Sham Sundaya Shikanda Shikanda Smahasmurli Manohara Radhikar Sukamama Kripanidhe Supriyacharna King Kurim Kuru Tavayavasmi Tavayavasmi Najivami Tayavina Iti Vidyaya Devi Tam Nama Charanantikam. First of all, I offer my heart like flowers thousands and thousands of times at the lotus feet of my holy master, my supremely worshipable spiritual Gurudev, Asmadev Paramaratatum Guru Parapan, Nitya Lila Pravishna Om Vishnupad, Ashtotara Sattva Rupanugacharya Varya, Sila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami. Secondly, I bow down with the utmost reverence at the feet of my Param Gurudev, to Srila Prabhupada, and to his Guru and all the great spiritual masters in our Rupanuga Guru Parampara, going back to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and thousands of years to Sri Krishna himself. And finally, I offer my pranam to all of you, my dear brothers and sisters. My Dhanavaks. So, today, this spiritual festival, Bhakti festival, begins in earnest. So, Bhakti is aprakrita, supernatural, transcendental. It is beyond the perception, understanding of the material mind and senses. Therefore, if someone sincerely aspires, if someone really wants to experience Bhakti Shakti, the potency of pure devotion, it is not possible unless and until we adopt the mood of Sharanagati, complete, unconditional surrender. It is said that Sharanagati is the doorway into the realm of Bhakti. I noticed that when all of you came into the temple room this morning, you came through the door. No one just burst through the wall, or broke through the window, and sustained injuries or anything like that. Because if you want to enter into a room, then you have to come to the door. So the realm of bhakti is like that also. You cannot break in. We cannot artificially enter into that experience. But rather, we'll have to genuinely, sincerely, without duplicity, do Sharanagati, surrender at the lotus feet of Krishna, specifically in the form of Sri Krishna's representative in this world, the spiritual master. So, what is this Sharanagati? In the Hari Bhakti Sudhadaya, he said, Anukul yasya sankalpa, pratikul yasya varjanam, rakshishati kideshvasaro gopti traivarnam tata, atmanikshepana kapanye sadvida Sharanagati. To accept all the things in our life which are favorable to bhakti, favorable to Krishna's service, to Krishna's happiness. To reject unequivocally from our life anything which is detrimental to our spiritual progress. Goptitvai varna. From the core of the heart to accept that Krishna is my maintainer. This is very important. Because unless we'll have the deep trust and the confidence, oh Krishna, if I serve you, if I dedicate my life to you, if I am yours, then you will support and take care of me. I will have no worry, no problem, no financial difficulty. I won't have to be concerned about my pension, who will look after me when I'm old, or any of these existential fears. This is the main problem. When we chant the holy name, we cannot focus on the name because the mind having fear and anxiety, thinking that we're living in a hostile environment, that we're not in the palm of the hand of Krishna. So the mind wanders to other things regarding ultimately how we will survive, protect ourselves in this world, physically, financially, psychologically, emotionally. So the main anga of Sharanagati surrender is Goptitvai Varana, that Krishna is my guardian. Rakshishati Vishvaso, and my protector in times of danger. Atmanikshepana, Karpanya. Karpanya means to consider oneself insignificant and wretched, quite worthless, destitute and incapable. And Atmaniveda means to have. Literally it means to offer one's Atma, one's very self. It means to have no self-interest outside of the interest of Sri Krishna. To have no sense of independent happiness. To have no sense actually of independent existence. To become free from Drig-Drisha. Just the vision that anything in reality is a swatantra vastu, is a substance independent from the will of God. To not only say to Krishna, oh, Isha Vakshamidam Sarvam, everything in this universe belongs to you. I have nothing. Not only this, not that I have nothing, but the very I, the seat of our concept of possessiveness, even this does not belong to me. Oh Krishna, even my soul belongs to you. even that is not mine. So this is Sharanagati. Surrender. So our Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, he said a very beautiful thing. He said, how can we know, how can we understand that we have become surrendered? How can we know that we have genuinely become humble? How can we know that we have arrived at the door to enter into pure bhakti? So he said, in this regard, there is one measurement that is called Drig-Drisha-Vichar, the deliberation upon who is the seer. Drig means the seer, and Drisha is that which is seen. That's something we don't think about. But the very finest element of our ego tells us that I am the seer. I am looking, and I can see, I can know, I can experience the aprakritavastu, transcendental things. This wicked mentality should be removed from the heart. We do it all the time. It's an inherent component of our ego. But as long as it's standing, as long as it hasn't fallen down, then we cannot have any true transcendental experience. That means when our ego is functioning in relationship to the aprakritavastu, spiritual things. For example, you come in front of the deity of Krishna with the mentality, I am the seer, I am looking. Prabhupada Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur used to say, are you doing eye exercises? To strengthen your vision? Don't come before Krishna thinking you can see him. That's why we don't give pranam to the deities directly. Coming in front, looking at him and bowing down like this. We turn sideways and we give pranam that way. Someone might think, someone may see me coming into the temple room and think, why is Prem Prayojan ignoring the deities and bowing down to the loudspeaker? No, we prostrate ourselves lengthways with the mentality that Krishna is seeing us. So Krishna, we want you, please look at us from head to toe. So lie down like this, sideways. So Krishna is seeing us. The Vaishnavas are seeing us. Tulasi is seeing us. The holy name. We cannot chant the holy name. Holy name is called Van Manasa Gochara. It is beyond the realm of our mind and words. It is Nikhila Praman Paricheda Gotaratva. The holy name is completely inaccessible by every single possible avenue of investigation. So as long as we think, I can hear the holy name, I can chant the holy name, that's not the holy name, that's non-aparat. Because we haven't surrendered. We haven't understood that we are not the witnesses of the divine realm, but the personalities of the divine realm are witnessing us. We have no power to see or know them. So we Namaha, Swaha, we just surrender to them. And we beg them, prachodayat. Kindly, by your own causeless mercy, make your appearance within my cognitive faculty. And then there is anubhuti, realization, otherwise not. So we should not come before the transcendental substances like pure Vaishnavas, bringing our ego with us. This is the problem. You see, the door, the entrance into the realm of pure bhakti is very wide. So if you come with your ego, ahankar, it's too fat. And you can't get through the door. So we have to become very, very small. When the fisherman throws his net into the ocean, all the fat fish get caught. But the little ones just go through the net. So, if we become the little ones, then we will not be caught in the net of Maya, illusion. So when we come before the Vaishnavas, don't try to see and measure how the Vaishnava looks, how tall, how short, how much shape. Don't try to measure. We can see through the ears. By surrendering and hearing deeply, then through the ears we can understand the nature of transcendental Vaishnava. I remember once I was taking a parikama party to the cave of Srila Vyasadeva, very high in the Himalayan mountains. Perhaps some of you were there. Who's there? So, it was very wonderful. So, we were walking on the Swarg Arohana. That's the path that the Pandavas took when they were ascending. When Krishna left this world and the Pandavas were renounced everything, they walked up this path, the Swarg Arohana, ascending to heaven, feeling intense separation from Sri Krishna. So as we got higher and higher in the mountains, I saw a cave, and I thought, oh, perhaps there's a yogi in that cave doing some yoga sadhana. Let's go and see if he'll talk to us. Maybe he'll be in samadhi, and then he won't be able to, he won't be aware of what's going on. So I told the devotees, just wait outside, I'll go in the cave and find out if he wants to meet with us. So then I went inside, and one yogi was there doing his sadhana. He gave pranam. And I asked him, he didn't speak English, so in Hindi I asked him, is it okay if my friends, we come inside and you share some of your wisdom with us? So kindly he agreed. So then I called the devotees and we all came and sat in the cave with the yogi. So we began to discuss a little about the Yoga Sutras. And I asked, what's your experience here? So then he took me outside. And outside the cave, there was, on the rock, there was a shape. It looked like the shape of an eye. So, he said, you see, this mountain has eyes. And then he pointed, and that mountain, and that mountain, and that mountain. And they're all watching us. He said, this is Ratha-Yatra, the transcendental place. So the holy tirthas are alive. He said, these mountains are watching, and if any sadhaka, practicing spiritualist will come here and do hard austerities and pray very sincerely, then when the holy Dham, that transcendental place, becomes pleased with him, then the mountains open, and inside are residing all the siddhas, Siddha yogis, perfected beings, those for thousands of years who have practiced their sadhana and become perfect, and they're living there invisibly. And then that person is invited into their association, and they can instruct him how to progress further and further in his spiritual life. So, and this was his experience. If Bhadrik Ashram is like this, then what to speak of Vrindavan? Vrindavan is more. So when we go to the transcendental Vrindavan, we should not go like tourists with a camera taking photographs all the time and looking. We come there to surrender, to serve the Vaishnavas and do our sadhana. And when Jamuna Devi, the goddess of Jamuna river, Brinda Devi, the goddess of the forest of Vrindavan, or the mountain Giraj Govardhan, who is watching us? When Gaudiya Vaishnavas has a Govardhan Shila, what's the first thing that they do? Stick on the eyes, right? Govardhan is watching you. And then, by the mercy of these great personalities, they can invite us into the realm of realization. There was a very, not so long ago, whatever, 50 years ago, in Vrindavan, there was a great Vaishnava named Kishori Ananda Goswami. So he was staying alone in the forest and he was chanting every day 192 rounds of japa, 300,000 names, like Srila Haridas Thakur. So he was trying again and again to fully surrender to the holy name and begging for the mercy of Radha and Krishna. So after some time, he found that his mind was not applied. It wasn't becoming absorbed. There was still some restlessness there. But still he tried. And with great endeavor he was chanting. And he came just about, he'd been chanting all night. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning. And then he looked and saw a Vaishnava was coming towards him. The Vaishnava was very handsome and wearing nice silk cloth. He looked very dignified, very distinguished. And he said, that Vaishnava, he said, "Oh, is your mind restless? I know how to make it very peaceful." And he bent down and whispered a mantra into his ear. And as soon as he heard this, then his mind became very peaceful. He said, "Who are you?" That Vaishnava said, "Vallabhacharya." So perhaps you know, Vallabhacharya had disappeared about 400 years before. But for the person who was doing his sadhana in the Dharma, or giving up all false ego, then the glories of the Dharma, that the great sages, that the great Vaishnavas, they're still present there. My Gurudev is there, Srila Prabhupada is there, Rupa Goswami is there, Sanatana Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, they're all there. But out of ego, we're thinking, what I can see of Vrindavan, this is Vrindavan. Our vision is so narrow, it is so limited. The true nature of reality and of the spiritual existence is something else. And we are beggars, like beggars. At the feet of those divine personalities, requesting them, be kind to me and reveal yourself. Later that same Vaishnava, he was chanting on another day, and in the early morning, again, about about 3 o'clock, he saw another very beautiful Vaishnava. He looked like the other one, but it was someone else. And he came to him, and he had some neck beads, a Tulasi. And he said, "Oh, I want to give you this Tulasi." So then he realized, oh, he looks like the son of that other person. It was Ratha-Yatra, the son of Lila. So he had appeared to him and wanted to give him a kantimala. But Kishore Ananda Goswami, he was in our Gaudiya Sampradaya. And our Sampradaya had very close friendship with the line of Vallabhacharya and Vittalacharya. But it's another Sampradaya. I also had very great love and affection for Vallabhacharya. I had the fortune of being born on his birthday. So we celebrate our birthdays together. But Kishore understood, and he said to Vittalacharya, he said, actually, I already have a kantimala. Because if I accept this, then I'll be in another sampradaya. So he said, I already have a kantimala. Please just bless me that I can serve the lotus feet of the divine couple, Radha and Krishna. So then, Vittalacharya was very pleased with his nishtha in his guru and in his parampara. So he blessed him. So the transcendental substances cannot be understood, cannot be realized, cannot be seen until we surrender, and that last drop of ego is there in our awareness. Just the conception, I am seen. No, I am the seen. Just like my Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Prayojan Keshav Goswami. He wrote a very beautiful kirtan describing the arti of Tulasi Devi. And then he said, Tomara Parabatali Deva Rishi Kutuhali. Oh, Brinda Devi, at your lotus feet, there's a big crowd of excited devatas and rishis celebrating a festival. Can you see? But that was his vision. So don't think when you see the clay pot and this little plant inside, don't look and think, oh, here's a plant. Maybe I'll make some Tulasi tea. No. Here is the goddess of the forest of Vrindavan. And at her lotus feet, right now, there's a festival going on. The chanting of mantras, kirtan and dancing. And so many devas and rishis are playing there. If we'll just approach her without thinking, I'm looking at you, I'd rather think, no, Brinda Devi, you're looking at me. So, who will have this experience? No one can know. You may be sitting next to someone in a kirtan, and you are Hare Krishna, looking around, and the person next to you is seeing the soft lotus feet of Krishna, walking in the dust of Vrindavan, his heart melting, and feeling anxiety. Oh, what if you'll step on a sharp grass? So it's completely subjective. You're all sitting here in this one world, but in a kirtan, one of you may subjectively experience disappearing from this place. We want to experience this in kirtan. Just like, just last week, the Ratha-Yatra festival was completed. So, in Ratha-Yatra, at the beginning, you know, Lord Jagannath comes out from the temple, the Shri Mandir. So it looks as if the pandas are carrying him, they're rocking backwards and forwards and they make him jump from one big cushion to another. And the cushions break and the cotton floats into the air. And millions of people are all chanting, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath. So it looks like the pandas, the deities actually, the deitapatis. The pandas, the priests, they don't do this ceremony, the deitapatis do it. But actually no. Lord Jagannath, by our vision, they're moving him. But the reality is that he himself is moving. He's coming himself. He's rocking backwards and forwards because he's so intoxicated. Thinking, finally I get to escape from Dwarka and go back to Vrindavan. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there watching this ceremony. And at that time the king of Orissa, at that time it was Prataparudra Maharaj. He's up on the chariot and there's a parikrama mark around the throne of Lord Jagannath on the chariot. And so the king comes with a broom and he sweeps this path in front of Lord Jagannath before he arrives there. And he sprinkles the water fragrant with sandalwood and flower petals. And then Lord Jagannath comes and takes his place upon the chariot. So at that time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was watching and he saw the king sweeping. Now, in Vedic culture there are different castes, and sweeping is for the Bangis, for the sweeper caste. A king, and they're the low caste, very low caste, a king will not pick up a broom. Forget it. But because Prataparudra Maharaj took a broom in his hand to show that before Lord Jagannath, I am just the lowest of the low. I aspire to be the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of Lord Jagannath, and for me that is a promotion. Being a king, that's nothing. That's like being a worm in stool. But to be the servant of the servant of the servant of Lord Jagannath, that's a promotion for a king. For all of us. Gopi Bhatu Patakamalyo Dasa Dasa Dasa. So he was very, very humble. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw his humility, his heart melted. Hari Deen Odari Gatapati Kripotsai Katarala Sachaitanya Kimme Punarapitisho Yashakti Padam. Mahaprabhu's heart was trembling with anticipation. When can I shower him in my mercy? When will that opportunity come? Because it was difficult. Because Mahaprabhu was a sannyasi and Prataparudra Maharaj was a king. So especially in those days, those in the renounced order, they didn't run around trying to kiss the feet of rich people to get donations. But rather, they stayed very far away from them. Considering that just to see a materialistic wealthy person was worse than knowingly drinking poison. So Mahaprabhu had to maintain appearances for the rest of society that others would not see. Oh look, people who renounce the world are running after wealthy materialists. So he couldn't associate. So he was thinking, how can I give my mercy to him? So then, the Ratha-Yatra began, and the people began to drag the cart, the chariot of Lord Jagannath down the grand road of Jagannath Puri. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had organized the devotees into different Sankirtan parties. So he made one party that was led by Swarup Damodar Goswami, one party that was led by Srivas Thakur, one party that was led by Advaita Acharya, one party led by Mukunda, one party led by Govinda Ghosh, another party of the devotees from Sri Khanda led by Narahari, and another party from Kulinagaram. So there were 7 Sankirtan parties. And he put 4 Sankirtan parties in front of Lord Jagannath's chariot. 1 on either side and 1 behind. So the chariot was going along and all 7 Kirtan parties were chanting and dancing in ecstasy. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself was wandering from one party to another, sometimes dancing here, sometimes dancing there. So at that time, Prataparudra Maharaj, the king, was on the roof of his palace with his Diksha Guru, Kashi Mishra, and with his Shiksha Guru, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And they were all watching with wonder the beautiful Sankirtan. Even Lord Jagannath has very big eyes. He was watching the Sankirtan. He was amazed. Sometimes the chariot was moving, and sometimes it didn't move because Lord Jagannath was stunned watching the Prayojan Sankirtan. So at that time, Prataparudra Maharaj, as he was beholding this magnificent sight, he saw that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing in all 7 kirtan parties at the same time. Beautiful golden form, so young and fresh, with eyes like lotus flowers, long arms reaching down to his knees, cloth the color of the rising sun, his golden body soft like fresh butter. And he was seeing his dancing in all 7 parties. And he expressed his surprise to his guru, Kashi Mishra. He said, look, Mahaprabhu is dancing in all 7 parties. Kashi Mishra looked. He didn't see it. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya looked, he didn't see it. Kashi Mishra said, Your Majesty, your good fortune is unlimited. This is a very astonishing moment in Gaura Lila, because it shows that our individual experience depends on the mercy, the revelation of Krishna. One devotee may see one thing, one devotee may see another, one devotee may not see anything. And who is managing this? Who decides what you will see, what you will not see? Krishna? No. Not even Krishna. Don't think that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was down there in the Ratha-Yatra dancing and thinking, now I'm going to give a surprise to Prataparudra Maharaj. Here goes. 7 forms. Hey, did you see that? I'm not going to show Kashi Mishra though. And it's not Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's lucky day today. Don't think. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not like that. Krishna is not like that. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he said, Lila veshe prabhu nahi nijanu sandan icha jani lila shakti kare samadhan. So beautiful. Lila veshe means absorbed in Lila. Prabhu nahi nija anusandhan means that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, nija means his own, and anusandhan means investigation or examination. Because he was absorbed in his Leela, Mahaprabhu wasn't investigating or examining himself, what am I doing? He wasn't thinking about it. Why? Because as far as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is concerned, he's Radharani, right? He's absorbed in the meeting of Radha Krishna at Kurukshetra. So Mahaprabhu has the Abhiman, the conception, I am Radharani, and Lord Jagannath is Krishna, the Prince of Dwarka, and we're meeting at the time of the solar eclipse at Kurukshetra. And they're having a very emotional exchange. Some Riddhiman, some Bhog, that means Radha and Krishna have been separated from each other for a long time, and now they finally meet. It's extremely intense. Gopyascha Krishna Mupalabja Chirada Vishna Yat Prakshane Dishishu Padma Krisham Drisham Shapanti. Radharani is looking at Krishna, almost fainting, taking him into her heart and embracing him in her heart. Krishna is crying, seeing that Radharani didn't comb her hair, wash her body, or anything. Because when there's a vow of vrat in Vedic culture, if the husband is away, the woman's not supposed to bathe and change her clothes and put on cosmetics or anything, or go out and independently meet the relatives, or even just be jovial or anything. She has to. All chaste wife should do that when the husband is away in Vedic culture. So actually, Radharani is staying with her husband, Abhimanyu. But because in her heart she belongs only to Krishna when Krishna left Vrindavan, she's doing this vrat. So when Krishna saw her in this condition, actually Krishna fainted at first. And then he was crying. So Lord Jagannath is like this, absorbed in this Abhiman, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is absorbed in the Abhiman of Radharani. So he's not thinking about, hey, there's part of Rudraj on the roof over there. Let's surprise him now. He's completely absorbed. Lila Desh. So Lila Deshi Prabhu Nahi Nija Anusandhan. He's not investigating what he's doing. So who's deciding who's seeing one Mahaprabhu and who's seeing 7 Mahaprabhus? So, Icha Jani Lila Shakti Kare Samadhan. Icha Jani means knowing his desire. The Lila Shakti Kare Samadhan harmonizes and reconciles everything without Krishna's involvement, without Mahaprabhu's involvement. So the Lila Shakti saw that Mahaprabhu's heart was melted when Prataparudra Maharaj was sweeping in front of Lord Jagannath, due to his humility and his surrender. That's what we're discussing. When one is humble and surrenders, then the aprakrita, the supernatural, becomes visible to us by the mercy of the Lila Shakti. So Lila Shakti saw Icha Jani, knowing the desire in the heart of Mahaprabhu, allowed him to become absorbed in Radhabhav, at the same time showed 7 forms to Prataparudra Maharaj to give just a little indication, a little omen of the mercy that was coming. This was not Mahaprabhu's full mercy on him. That will come later. That will come later. So it was just a little flash, a little warning. Now the Kripa is coming to you. Sporting. Vision. Like this. So all of Krishna's Leela is like this. You see, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, through the medium of Gaura Leela Chaitanya Charitamrita, he's giving us a vision, qualifying us with the Adhikari to understand the mysteries of Krishna Leela. Because that same principle, Lila Veshu Prabhu Nahi Nijanu Sandhan, that the Lord is absorbed in his Leela and never examines himself what he's doing or what he's not doing. That principle is functioning in Krishna Leela. Icha Jani Lila Shakti Kare Samadhan, and the Lila Shakti is playing in such a way and making everything possible. For example, when the cowherd boys, it said that the cowherd boys came on the bank of Kali Arad and they died from the poison of Kali. Right? This is general understanding. That's actually not what happened. What really happened is that the cows came to the water of Kali Arad first. It was summertime, they were very thirsty. And they drank the water that was poisoned by Kali, and the cows died. Because no one dies in the spiritual world, but became unconscious as if dead. So then the cowherd boys, the Gopals, seeing that their cows had died, become unconscious, then they became unconscious because Gopals love cows. Can you imagine how the cowherd boys love the cows? And the cows are so dear to Krishna. So seeing that the cows were so dear to Krishna had become unconscious, then all the cowherd boys also became unconscious. So then Krishna came there and saw all the cows lying down, all his boys, Subal, Sridham, Dham, Vasudham, Arjun, Labanga, Stoka, Krishna, Madhamango, Vasan, Kokil, Bringa. So many cowherd boys scattered, lying on the floor here and there. Then generally it said that Krishna revived them by his glance. But this is pretty Aishwarya stuff, right? That's quite Aishwarya. Krishna thought, never mind, let me bring them back to life with my X-ray vision. That's not what happened. What actually happened, Krishna thinking that I'm just a 6-year-old boy and all my friends have died, started to cry. Right? What does a 6-year-old boy do when he sees that all of his cows and his friends have died? Right? So Krishna began to cry. And the tears of Krishna began to flow along the ground in little rivulets. And as the rivulets of his tears flowed here and there, when his tears touched the cowherd boy there, they opened their eyes and sat up. And as Sri Krishna walked through the crowd of boys, and his tears were falling here and there and touching their bodies, and they were revived, then Krishna embraced them, each one of them. Oh my Saka, you're all right. They embraced each other. So much love, so much relief that the emergency was over. The separation was pacified. But there are so many boys. It would take Krishna all day to individually embrace each one of them. Right? Then he would be late for prasadam. In the evening, and Nanda Maharaj would be upset with him. Mother Yashoda would twist his ear, why are you late for prasadam? So that's not what happened. Yeah? But Krishna expanded himself in many, many forms. One for each cowboy, and embraced each one of them. But again, Krishna didn't think, it's going to take all day to embrace these boys, I better expand. Never happened. Krishna's just a 6-year-old boy, his tears are not even dry yet. His tears are not even dry yet. But, Lila Beshi Prabhu Nahi Nijanu Sandan Icha Jani Lila Shakti Kare Samartan. He's not even thinking. He's just absorbed in the love of his Lila. But knowing his heart's desire, the Lila Shakti causes effortlessly, and even without his own awareness, that he manifests so much form and hugs them all. The same thing happened at Kurukshetra. When Krishna first saw Radhika and all the Braj Gopis there in their disheveled state, and his heart was shattered, then he became unconscious in the arms of Uddhav. Uddhav somehow revived him. And then Krishna looked at the gopis. They were embracing him in their hearts. They closed their eyes. Because outside they were seeing Kurukshetra, holy place. It was full of elephants and chariots and warriors and rishis. Aishwarya Bhumi, an opulent place. But when they saw Krishna, they immediately just wanted to be with him alone in a kunj in Vrindavan. So their hearts were like, they experienced beautiful kunj in their hearts. And they took him into that kunj of their heart and embraced him internally. So outwardly their eyes closed. And they became insentient in respect to the outer world. So then Krishna came to each gopi and smiling, touched them, and their eyes open. Apismarapana Satya. Krishna said, do you remember me? Of course. And Krishna embraced each one of them. He removed their old and torn clothing and called Ud of Prem. The ornaments. And Krishna, just as a pujari bathes a deity and then decorates them with sandalwood paste and ornaments and clothing. See, Krishna essentially worshipped, but in a pranay bhav, in a Madhurya romantic mood, he bathed and decorated each one of the gopis. But again, not one by one, it would have taken forever. But rather, Lila veshi prabhu nahi nijanu sandan, icha jani lila shakti kare samarda. He never thought that he's expanded. He's just an ordinary young man who by misfortune has become separated by long distance for many years from his sweetheart. That's his abhiman, that's his ego. But Lila Shakti effortlessly causes him to manifest so many forms so he can individually serve each and every gopi. And each gopi seeing he's only serving me, not others. So the aprakita vastu is like that. Supernatural, transcendental. It is not accessible or understandable by any of our faculties. But only when we surrender completely. Sharanagati, unconditional surrender, which can be measured, can be understood by the degree to which we give up the ego, that I am the seer, I can know the aprakita vastu, the divine substances. Then after that, when Guru and Krishna, they're satisfied with our service, then individually, in a very special and particular way, the divine realm begins to open for each and every one of us. Bale Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai, Vare Sanwali ki Jai, Jai Jai Sri Radhe. Go with prayer.